I'm handing over to Pam and the team to tell us more about. They also have a bit of resilience that they're telling us about, but with a global application to support us in coming back stronger after this. Pam, over to you.
Thanks so much, Theodore. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That's an interesting stat about the donuts. I had no idea. Maybe it's because in the winter in certain parts of Canada, it's so cold. People have to eat donuts to warm themselves up.
Maybe.
Well, to continue the resilience theme further, I haven't been on all night, but I have been on and recently heard the New York team. So very fascinating panel. And so we'll continue with that thread of resilience. And as Theodore said, I'd like to welcome you to a Canadian story of community resilience with global application to support us all in coming back stronger. And I'm an ambassador for Canada, Female Wave of Change, and I'm also president of a national nonprofit, Female Wave of Change Canada. And joining me today are Charmaine Hammond, who is one of our esteemed members, and she's also the executive producer of a soon-to-be released, so we're getting the sneak preview of Back Home Again, a documentary film about resilience. And I'm also joined by two other board members, Barb Eady, who's our secretary, and Michelle Rogers, who's our treasurer. Our intention today is to share with you a short video trailer of Back Home Again and to discuss why it's so important now and how it's relevant to our work with Female Wave of Change around the world. What we're going to do is we're going to open up later for questions and invite you to interact with us. So why is coming back, why is Back Home Again? Why is this so important now? And how is it relevant to our work with Female Wave of Change Canada? Well, one of the things we talk about in Female Wave of Change and our big themes is think global, act local. Well, I don't want to give too much away. This documentary film is all about something that happened in Canada. It's got a Canadian director. It has a number of Canadian well-known actors starring in it, and they've all volunteered their time to make it, which is awesome. So it's all about thinking. It's about thinking global and acting local because it's about a local situation that happened, but it has global application. And I hope you'll see why as we move through the discussion and share the trailer with you. Another thing is you will see, we talk about authentic leadership qualities such as authenticity, compassion, collaboration. Well, all these qualities run through this video trailer and the intention it has to be a trigger for discussion with families, with communities, with school teachers around the world. The video demonstrates collaboration and action and the importance of partnerships and having a common vision and how people moved together and created this amazing, this new community to come back stronger. And we have had Ingen Bohl and our board Ingen as our fearless leader from the beginning. And she's really demonstrated this idea of collaboration and action and having this common vision and organically has moved this organization forward around the world. And we see also this video trailer having the possibility of demonstrating this and having potentially positive impacts and showing people how they can build community and how they can be more collaborative. It links with a number of the pillars that we have at Female Wave of Change. It touches on the themes health, humanity, as well as education. It supports the power of community and creating waves of change, which we know that's what Female Wave of Change is all about. It aims at making a truly positive difference in the world. And Charmaine is is the only female member of the executive team for this particular documentary. And she has been working alongside the screenwriter director, Michael Mankowski, for the last 5 years. And just so you know, My understanding is this is going to be released at an international film festival in Edmonton in October. So as I mentioned before, we are so excited to have the sneak peek at what this is all going to look like and what it's going to do. The power of video to connect and also to serve as a trigger for discussion. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Charmaine Hammond. And she's a woman of many talents. I'm not going to go through her CV right here, but Charmaine is an expert in conflict resolution. She's co-founder of Raise a Dream Training and Consulting. And she and her partner, Rebecca, business partner, they specialize in sponsorship and collaboration. And Charmaine has gotten sponsorships from all over the place. I would say millions of dollars to do work, both her own work and also work supporting the work of many other important initiatives and organizations. She's also a best-selling author of many books. I can't tell you how many. And she's also a certified professional speaker. So with that, I'll hand it over to Charmaine, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the film, the background to it, why it was created, and also the partners and how it can be used. Charmaine.
Thank you, Pamela. And it's so great to be with you all this morning for us here in Vancouver. And the previous conversations have just paved the way for what we're going to talk about now. The last conversation about resilience, and this short animated documentary, it's 30 minutes long, was really created by Michael Mankowski to be a conversation starter about mental health. So to go back to one of Pamela's questions a moment ago about the why of the movie, in 2016, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada experienced a massive disaster in the community. The entire community, 88,000 plus people, were evacuated as a result of a forest fire, and they were evacuated for more than 5 weeks. And Michael Mankowski, the screenwriter director, is a local Fort McMurrayite, so he also experienced the fire, the evacuation. And when he returned, he was working with the Red Cross on a project and interviewed hundreds of people about their experience. And he thought there were so many important stories to be told, and that perhaps this film could be one that would help people have conversations about mental health, coming together as a community, inspiring hope, and the conversations about resilience, just like we've been talking about today. I have a big why too, in terms of why I got involved in this almost 5 years ago. I too lived in the community that the story is about. While I didn't live there at the time of the fires, I had left and moved to another community by then, but I was called back to work with the school boards and a number of nonprofit organizations as they worked on their plans to recover, regrow, and to be resilient. So when I met Michael and he shared his big vision, and I know all of you have talked to people in your world where someone shares a big idea, big vision, and you just say, I've got to be involved in this. That's what happened to me. I jumped on board, and I didn't know at the time how I would help. I certainly didn't know at the time that I would become an executive producer, and nor did I ever think in a million years that we would have this incredible cast. The film is a nonprofit film, and it's designed to be watched with someone. So this is not a film where an entertainment type of a movie for children. It's really a movie for families and for educators and for communities to share, to start those very much needed conversations around mental health. And now in our world, we need these conversations more than ever. And I'll just maybe share the poster for a moment. Let me screen share here if I can, just show the poster. Why can't I find that? Okay, I'm not going to share the poster right now. I can't. It's not letting me bring up the poster, but I will put the link to the poster up in a moment. The poster is beautiful. You're going to see the entire lineup of the cast in the short documentary that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But the key thing that we really want people to know about this movie is that we want this to have global application, because it's not only Fort McMurray that has experienced a disaster. We are all living through a disaster, a pandemic right now. And you can see on the screen, these are the characters. This story is about the Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta, Canada wildfires, as told by the animals who live in the forest. And you can see some of the actors on the screen. So we really look forward to having people engage in conversation and to look at how they can spark conversations or inspire conversations that help people heal and help people grow. Now, I thought do you want me to put on the trailer now as well, Pamela? Oh, I'm sorry, you're muted.
Yes. Do you want to just share that the partners again, just to reinforce?
Yes, beautiful. As Pamela mentioned in her introduction, this movie is really built on collaboration and partnership. That was a big part of the reason why I said yes to be involved. And we have two charitable partners on the project, and that is Canadian Mental Health Association. They're working with us to help us build educational resources and tools that'll support the film. So things like classroom discussion guides, family discussion guides. I love the conversation previously when Janine and Tina and the other panelists were talking about resilience. And I believe it was Janine talked about those stories over dinner time. These are the types of stories we want to be talking about over dinner and drive time. So Canadian Mental Health is helping us with the app, all of the educational tools and supports for community schools and families. And then our other key charitable partner is Canadian Red Cross. And the partnership is expanded beyond that. How this movie was brought to life was through a number of partners, sponsors, community organizations that have all collaborated together to move this project forward. And as Pamela says, it's going to be released October 2nd at the International Film Festival, Edmonton International Film Festival. So for all of you that have been involved in big projects, you know how that feels when you are literally a week away from this big project, and we are so excited to be launching that in the resources. Perfect. All right, give me a moment here to put on the trailer. So if I set context about this is a 3-minute 3-minute and a bit trailer called The Heart of Back Home Again. So this gives you the context of the movie. You get to meet someone from Canadian Mental Health Association, Canadian Red Cross, and the screenwriter director and one of our producers, John Schneider. And then on our YouTube channel, we also have the movie trailer, but I wanted to show this one because it really speaks to the essence of the movie and why we are doing this in the first place. Okay. Everyone double cross fingers that technology works here. Okay. And as soon as I start this playing, if you can give me a heads up that the sound is working for you.
Here's the latest on the Fort McMurray fire.
Dramatic shift in the wind.
Fire shifted direct.
We are strong, and we will keep doing our job.
The Fort McMurray wildfire, the impact was awe-inspiring, really, the power of Mother Nature. This was something Canada had never seen before. It's hard for the human heart to realize how much is lost.
This is a community that has faced an unthinkable chapter in its history, and catastrophic events have an impact on our mental health.
I was born and raised in Fort McMurray. We were first affected by the economy, the downturn in oil prices, then the wildfire, then the floods, then COVID.
What does recovery look like for a community? What does it look like for a family? And what does it look like for an individual?
I wanted to make a film that could help people by creating conversation and awareness around mental health. I wanted to give back to my community and telling the story of coming back home. I had so many powerful untold stories in our community, and I felt a documentary about this subject matter might be too heavy. I wanted this film to be relatable for children, so I took those stories and I rewrote them from the perspective of animals.
Wood buffalo forest is still evacuating and still under the constant threat of the beast.
We talked to a lot of mental health experts about the use of animation to break down barriers and give people comfort.
Michael was alongside of our teams, hearing people's voices about their experiences.
In the very foundation of this project was careful consideration and the gathering of experts to really consider what the weight would be.
And I wanted to make sure that we had all the diversity of Fort McMurray represented.
I'm so relieved to know my wife and son are safe.
This is the largest ensemble of award-winning Canadian actors in any film, and they all donated their time. They all wanted to give back to their country of Canada.
There are many animals all over the world that are calling you firefighters heroes.
I don't consider myself a hero. All the emergency responders, the police, volunteers that have left their homes, they are the real heroes to me.
Jeremy Renner, who voices a character in the film, also sings an amazing song at the end.
A new day rises from the ashes. A new hope rises from the pain.
This is a story about a community. It's a resilience movie. It talks about coming home, finding your community there.
I envision it as a healing journey for community members and families and schools.
Watch it with somebody so that you can talk about your experience.
This is a non-profit project that I hope to use to raise funds for Canadian Mental Health Association of Fort McMurray. I hope this inspires everyone to talk about mental health. This is really a personal love letter to my hometown of Fort McMurray, Woodlove.
Back home again.
I still get moved every time I watch that, and I've probably watched it thousands of times now, Pamela.
Well, I know I've got tears in my eyes here. So thank you so much for that, Char. What I'm going to do now is ask the question to several of our board members, and I also invite you to respond to it, any participant out there in the chat. And the question is, what change or changes does the film inspire you to make in the world? So first of all, I'd like to open that up to Barb Eady.
Hello, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. And yes, every time I see that trailer, it brings tears to my eyes too. And I can't wait for the documentary. For me, again, the theme of resilience and community. I love the idea, you know, it's part of the script of the film that, you know, there's new hope that rises from the ashes, and we can take a crisis and people's experience to build these beautiful things we've talked about: resilience and adaptability and community, you know, the power of community. And one thing Canadians are known for, as well as donuts, is not just collaboration and community, but coming together in really tough times and donating their time and their resources. So I also work in my work with children, with teenagers, and mental health is part of their experience. So I think this film is really powerful in opening those conversations for families, for the people we work with, and for many people, especially now. You know, the thing about mental illness, it's often not seen. You know, we don't know what people are struggling with. And stories like this can really open that conversation and bring that connection. So thanks for this. I'm excited to see this film happen.
Thanks, Barb. Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm just, first of all, so excited and pleased to be a part of this organization and this conference. It's been amazing. I just wanted to, so I've brief comments. So when I think about mental illness and the impact that this has on as far as the film has on me, I think talking about mental health and options to gain help helps all of us get comfortable with the notion that, just like our physical health, mental health ranges from feeling a little off, like getting the sniffles or a cold, all the way to some serious long-term illness. And just like we take care of ourselves when we're not feeling well physically, we need to get more comfortable with adopting the same practice. And And also just normalizing or understanding that sometimes taking care of ourselves means seeking advice or counsel from others. And it's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So the more comfortable we get with the concept of the spectrum of mental health and how to keep us healthy, and understanding that we're not going to be healthy 100% of the time, that we will get the sniffles. And it's okay to reach out and take care of ourselves. I think that's a really, really powerful message for us to just get comfortable with and adopt.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Now I see there's a few things coming in here in terms of the response to what change or changes does the film inspire you to make in the world. One is show more compassion. Stories heal. Healing the mind is essential during this challenging time. There's a lot of untold stories that need to be shared. Thanks, Canada, for facing the challenges head on. Another one is identify and be part of a larger cause. So thank you for those folks who have responded. What we'd like to do, of course, we have more questions than we have time for. That's usually the case. So I'm going to nip right down here to how do you see using the film and support materials in your family, community, and workplace? I'll just put that in. So anyone, if you want to, I'll put it in the chat here, and feel free if you want to put your response in the chat box, or if you want to raise your hand and I'll take a few replies. So how do you see using the film and support materials in your family, community, workplace? Anyone brave enough to want to raise their hand? Somebody may have to help me too, because I don't see all the screen.
I will definitely help you, Pam.
Thank you so much. Another brave soul. Okay.
Mommy Vaughn. We've got Mommy Vaughn.
Do you want to start? Because you put your hand up first, and then we'll go to Yvonne.
No, I was saying I'll be glad to help you look out for those hands. So let's give Mommy Vaughn
I see.
the
Got
stage.
you. Yvonne, great. Mommy Vaughn, do you want to share? Great to see you.
Yes, thanks so much, Pamela and the team from Canada. I think also the team from New York shared the same principles. I think for me, it's important to have an open conversation with our family around mental health. And in my own journey, I've experienced that families struggle a lot with their family members who've been through trauma, because nobody wants to touch that subject. Nobody wants to say, Ma, how do you feel? What has changed? And also, Mom is scared to say, I am not the mom that you knew before X happened. And I think the conversation doesn't need to stop there, because mental health is taboo. Nobody engages it head on and deal openly and frankly with the challenges and what it means, the do's and the don'ts, so that as family, you know how to support each other. And it doesn't only stop with family. It's with work environments. It's with the forums that we participate, because usually the easiest thing, people like to change you, judge you, and always catch you doing something wrong. And that makes it worse. Experience. So that said, let there be truth to that power, acceptance, awareness, and people can only take action if they know what to do. Because if it's something you have not experienced, it's much easier if someone was born with it and as family, we know, but if the change just happens, You know, one day you wake up, things are not the same. Someone is stroke, someone is brain tumored, or something else, or stress has done this and that. Then you don't know how to deal with it. And the risk that I've experienced is that it can actually create more mental health challenges, and not only to the person who's affected, but also to those around, because now they're bottling things, you don't know what to do. So moving forward, I think the action is open conversations, understanding and taking action. And I don't think we see a lot of information that tells people where to go to get help, because usually we want those people to help themselves. And how so? You're already in a mental state. That is challenging. So you don't even know what to do. And sometimes you're not even aware. So I think for me, it's that information is also how you raise awareness and all of that. So in my journey, I've experienced the let me fix you. Let me sideline you. Let me avoid you. Let me not talk to you. Let me not get into that. And I can tell you right now that if you don't have other options, some of us use prayer, meditation, the arts of living, the breathing, and so on, you know, to deal with such. But because I interacted a lot with people who've been through trauma, and I know that it's a struggle. And I think thanks for that, because not only does it inform us, it's also healing. And it's helping us to face what we need to face. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom Yvonne. You always are so eloquent. And what you shared, open conversations, understanding and taking action, and sharing with people where they can go and what they can do. So thanks so much. And the trauma that I know you've experienced and many others have, particularly even since the pandemic, because it's been a very traumatic time for people. And a lot of us don't understand how trauma affects the body. So part of the discussion is I think to share the impacts trauma has on the body and make people feel that you're not alone. You know, many people experience trauma in different ways, in different levels. So thanks for heightening our awareness about that, Mama Vaughn.
Yes, that's a great pleasure. It's very healing. And to all of us who are bogus mental health specialists, please know that you're making it worse, rather than us to the right so we can get help. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And closing off, I'd like to hand back over to Charmaine, and she's going to initiate a call to action.
Wonderful. Thank you. What rich conversation. And I appreciated all the comments that were flying through the chat box. Because we're all going through a shared experience right now that's impacting mental health, which is living and navigating through a pandemic. This movie has such great applicability to start this conversation. So one of the things we would love to invite our Female Wave of Change global members to participate in is a call to action. And we'll be doing a couple of things. One of those is we invite you to let us know how you might be interested in using the film and some of the resources in your community, whether that's to do something online, whether that's to hold a discussion, help a school, bring this into their schools. The ideas are, I know with this group, so many. So we invite you to actually participate in a call to action. And I will put my email in the chat box in just a moment. One of the things we wanted to do, though, we started talking about the ripple effect of change and the ripple effect of transformation and impact. And so what we want to do is we're creating a little survey, just a short survey that we will get out to everybody. And it gives you an opportunity to let us know where you might be interested in utilizing the film and resources in your community. And we want to be able to track impact. So this is an exciting exercise for us to be able to track the impact. And we'll be doing regular updates to all of the Female Wave of Change members as well, to show how one conversation led to a lot of impact. Anything else, Pam, you wanted to add to that?
No, I just would wish to say thank you for all the rich comments in the chat box, as well as Mum Yvonne's contribution. And thank you for the opportunity to share Female Wave of Change Global,
Yes.
because we're excited to be here, and we're also confident that the ripples can keep going and going and going. And so thank you all.